Good morning and welcome to the class. So today we are going to study a very important topic in the subject pedagogy of a school subject history, the skill of stimulus variation. As we all have already studied about the micro teaching skills, and in which it is one of the most important skill which is required while teaching in a class. So, what is stimulus variation skill? We are going to you. The learning objectives for today's class is to know more about the role which has changed of today's teacher, how stimulus variation skill can be used in the class, how effectiveness can be ensured in the class, how we can make our lesson more interesting in the class. So for this, we need to know the various components of the stimulus variation skill, which we will be discussing in the later part. So first of all, we will discuss about the changes in the teacher's role, why these skills are important in the class. Earlier, the teacher was the knowledge transmitter only. He needs to be transmitting the knowledge which already is being given in the textbooks, or it is now with the advent of technology is available on the internet. But now the role of teacher has changed and they have become facilitator and collaborator. So that means that they are facilitating knowledge to the students as and whenever required. So their role has changed. 24 hours they can facilitate the knowledge to the students with the help of various technical apps, or the areas which can be used for facilitating the knowledge to the students. Earlier, teacher controlled and directed all aspects of learning. So autocratic teaching was there in the class in the earlier a few decades back. And now the teacher gives students more options and responsibilities for their own learning. So now the teachers have some autonomy in their class, and they can give their students although more options. So collaboration is there, they have to cooperation is there. So the students are also made responsible for various parts of teaching learning process. So this is how the teacher's role has changed in the classroom in modern times. Now, as the teacher's role has changed, so as the student's role has changed. So earlier, a student was only in the autocratic class of the teacher. Earlier, the student was only the passive recipient of information. He did not actively participated in anything. He used to listen whatever the teacher is telling in the class. Now the role of the student has changed to an active participant in the learning process, by which only we mean the collaboration and the cooperation. So through it, the students need to be actively engaged in the class. Earlier, they used to reproduce the knowledge, whatever they have been given. So they just have to write down in the exams to get the good grades and get into the next class. Now, the student have to produce, innovate, share knowledge, participate at times as expert also. So for this, the student's role has totally changed in 21st century. And for this, various kinds of skills need to be, taken care of in the class. So we know that these skills comes under the umbrella of micro teaching term, and this is a little different from the traditional classroom teaching. How we will look at this? So micro teaching is in this we the teaching is relatively simple because it is done by choosing one skill within 5 to 10 minutes. And in traditional classroom teaching, it is a complex activity because it is a combination of all skills. So you do not know what is going to be happen at the next moment. In micro teaching, everything is controlled under controlled situation, because you know that your peer group is sitting here. You have to complete everything within the planning with what you have done earlier. And in the traditional classroom teaching, the things can change at any moment, so it is uncontrolled. In micro teaching, one skill at a time is taken up, and in traditional classroom teaching, the integration of several skills is done. In micro teaching, there are less number of students, So more attention can be paid to the, bringing changes in the behavior of the teacher trainees. And in the traditional classroom teaching, more number of students are there. In micro teaching, the time is hardly 5 to 10 minutes, and whereas in traditional classroom teaching, it is much more than 40 to 50 minutes. In micro teaching, student teacher provides immediate feedback. So they are given feedback so that they can bring changes in their teaching. And in traditional classroom teaching, no immediate feedback is given. So they have to change, self-reflect and introspect, and have to bring about changes in themselves. In micro teaching, there is no provision for reteaching. There is provision for, reteaching. They have to teach until they reach the perfection according to the micro teaching cycle. And in traditional classroom teaching, once the lesson has been delivered, they can only introspect and bring changes in the next class. In micro teaching, students gain confidence in teaching, while in traditional classroom teaching, if they are sent without any proper training, they will be tensed and scared. So for this, we have to develop certain skills in them before going into the class. So a teacher also wants that the teaching should be done in a systematic way, and the students should be under control, and the teachers could encourage pupil participation, and the skillful change in the stimuli is known as the skill of stimulus variation. Now, stimulus means the agent which leads to acceleration of the response of certain activity. And variation is bringing, it is a kind of approach. We need to bring variation in using of various stimuli in the class. So changing such stimulus to bring variety in the classroom and avoid boredom. So this is how this term stimulus variation is known as. It is a method and technique which attracts students' attention and interest towards teaching and learning process. So students usually get bored easily if the teacher always use the same method in the class, like, for example, the explanation method or the lecture method. So for this, the chief aim of the teacher in the classroom is to make the lesson impressive and interesting. And for this, stimulus variation can be used in between the teaching, and the teacher can consider bring variety in the stimuli. So in this way, they can make it interesting. So it includes skills to change teachers' behavior, various activities that affect students' sensory organ, change the pattern of interaction between teacher and student. So like this, they have to bring variety. They need to present various types of stimuli, and need to know how this stimuli can be utilized in the class. So thus, skill of stimulus variation involves deliberate change in attention, drawing behavior of the teacher in order to secure and sustain students' attention to what is being taught. So this is very important. You have prepared a very good lesson and you are not able to present it in an impressive manner to the students, or the effect which you wanted is not visible in the class. So you need to sustain students' attention, because it is a very long time when you are delivering a lecture in a class. You are delivering a topic, explaining a topic in the class. So for this, a student can, his mind can wander off anywhere, and you need to bring their attention to yourself, to the topic which you are teaching. And for this, you have to make it interesting. So we can say that Francis Bacon has said, nothing is pleasant that is not spiced with variety. So here we can see that there are various colors of the clothes where we can see. So we also, as a human being, do not want to, go without any kind of variety. And we also feel boredom by doing something again and again. So you need pleasant things, need to spice up things. So like this only, you need to spice up things in your classroom also. So here, take a look at the picture. You can see that the teacher is trying to teach. The old method is being used, and the students, what the students are doing, The students are not interested at all in learning. And here, take a look at this picture. And in this picture, you can see a teacher is, giving lecture, and the students are enthusiastically participating in it. So this is what we want. So this is the picture we want in our classrooms. So let us take a look at the factors which affect attention, because we need to, gain the attention of the students, and for this only we need to bring variety in our teaching. So for that we need to use various kinds of teaching methods, different kinds of teaching aids, different kinds of technologies to be used, different ways to be used in the class for teaching. So what are the factors which a teacher should look out for, gaining attention? So lessons must be engaging. Here you can see the students are thinking in their, going in their own world, and the teacher is just blah, 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 doing blah, blah, blah. So this is how it goes in the mind of the students, because they are thinking in their own, doing daydreaming in the class. So for this, for gaining their attention, what should be done? The first the factor is intensity. Now, intensity means the depth. A louder sound, a brighter light can capture anyone's attention. But continuity of loudness and brightness tend to have a quick decreasing effect in attracting attention. So here we can see in this picture that the teacher is trying to, teach in the class, but the volume of the, the voice is too much. So the students can't bear it. And this means that this is decreasing the effect what the teacher thought, that by shouting in the class, by teaching them in a louder manner, using loud voice, they can attract the attention. So it can, the loud voice can grab the attention of some person, but not for a longer time. So you need to take care that whatever you are doing, it should be at an equal level, not too much high and not too much slow. Now the next factor is the contrast. So anything that is contrasting with the other things in the surrounding environment attracts attention. So most of the students, try to look out of the class. If any noise is made outside of the class, they are more interested to know what the other people are doing outside, what the other students are doing outside. If a student is, going out and coming back in the class, if the student is coming late in the class, so all the students, they want to, wander off sometimes, and they the things which are different from the surrounding environment, that attracts attention of those students. So this teacher can, make some rules so that this contrasting environment can be, not so much used in the class. Now the movement. How the movement is a factor. A moving object thing attracts attention more in comparison to stationary one. So for this is also one of the component of stimulus variation skill, and which we will discuss later, that how the movement affects the in grabbing the attention of the students. Then instructional materials. So definitely when you use any kind of instructional materials in the class, the students will be interested to know that what you are going to do today, what kind of PPT you are going to show, what kind of video or audio you have prepared, or any kind of model, or you are going to take them to the laboratory or any kind of field trip. What instructional material are you using today? So there should be curiosity among the minds of the students, and so variety of instructional materials should be used. So these are the powerful materials to attract and hold students' attention. Even if you are using the blackboard, it should be properly organized. The work which you are doing on the blackboard should be properly done, written in a proper, organized manner, or whatever diagram you are trying to draw. So you should try to make use of everything around which is available in the classroom, the basic things, and also the extra material which you are using in the class. That also grabs attention of the students. Then teachers' personal behavior. Now, this is very important. So, a teacher, what kind of image when we get when we hear the name teacher? A teacher, a person to which we look to who is a role model for us. Whatever a teacher says is always correct for us, right for us. So, how their personal behavior also affects the students. So, a teacher, when entering in the class while delivering the lecture, should be enthusiastic, stimulating, energetic, and expressive. So, their behavior should be such, and it will definitely, grab attention of the students in their class, rather than the dull and the monotonous behavior of the teacher in the class will not grab the students' attention in spite of your too much, efforts you have taken while preparing any kind of instructional material or the lesson plan, but your behavior can also affect. So these are the small things which a teacher can take care of, and with it, by using it again and again in the classroom, they can find out the correct ways to use these kind of factors so that they can grab their attentions. So these let us now discuss what are the objectives of using the stimulus variation skill. Now, until now, we have discussed very much about this, but still, teachers can use various stimulation to enhance students' interest towards teaching learning activities. So, a teacher should be well aware of what kind of stimulation they can use in the class so that they can develop interest of the students. They should give opportunity to the students to use their sense and to follow and experience knowledge. So you need to give opportunity to all the students. Otherwise, if you are giving, teaching the front row only, or if you are giving opportunity to a group of your favorite students and other students are being neglected by you, so that means that you are not giving opportunity to all students. So the students who are being neglected will not take interest in your class. So that is how you need to take care of each and every minute details in your classroom. Motivate the students to enhance their curiosity via various teaching and learning activities. So by going through various kind of teaching learning process, teaching methods, teaching aids, you must be aware by now that there are various kinds of things which a teacher can do in the class. It just takes efforts, and the efforts will bring colors to your class if you try to develop curiosity among the students, that why, what, how you need to do this in the class. So motivate your students. Create a conducive, conclusive, positive, and fun learning condition. So for this, you can make use of various kinds of activities in the class, various short things can be done in the class, so that if the class is being getting bored, or boredom has swept in, or you can see that the students are not taking interest, or they are not able to understand what you are trying to teach them. So for that, you can take a short break, then you can again start. But in the meantime, you can introduce some fun activity so that students also take interest. Give opportunity to the students to experience various learning activities, and this is very important because, as we have talked, that students need to discover on their own. So the role of student has changed, so our objectives has also changed. Now we will discuss the various components of stimulus variation skills based on which a teacher should teach in a class. So they should be aware of the components, that what should be done, how we can improve if there is any difficulty we are facing in the class. So the first component is the teacher's movement in the class. So here in this picture, we can see that the teacher is moving out in the class, the students are doing their work, maybe some project work or the assignment or the exam is going on in the class, and the students are doing their work. But the teacher, if the teacher is just standing behind the table, or near the blackboard or their screen, so they will not be able to monitor whatever the work is being done by the students. This is very important. So the teacher should move out in the class, but it should be purposeful. It should not be, without aimlessness. It should not be aimless, that teacher is just wandering in the class and the students are turning around to look at the teacher. But this can be done with great purpose, with attention, and this will bring a purposeful movement of the teacher from one place to another, will bring variety in the classroom. So you will see the changes on yourself, for yourself. So it can attract students' attention, such as moving several steps to the left or right or back or in the front of the class. You need to show that you are enthusiastic, you are resourceful, you are taking interest while delivering the lecture. Maybe you have delivered the lecture many times. Maybe you have taught that topic hundreds of times. But when you are teaching in a class, this is for the first time you are teaching in the class for some students. So every time you get a new class, every time you are teaching in a new session, new students. So you have to, take care of your expressions. So you can make movement from one place to another with some purpose. Now, what kind of purpose are there in the classroom? Like for writing on the blackboard, obviously the teacher will move for writing on the blackboard. If they are showing any kind of teaching aid, if they have to move forward their PowerPoint presentation by taking control, if they have remote control in their hands, if their the infrastructure permits, they can do that by moving to the other side to conduct any kind of experiments. So these are the purposeful activities for moving out in the class. Unnecessary movements is also a no-no, strict no-no. Then the next component is the teacher's gesture. Now here we can see that the teacher is trying to teach something to the students by making hand, head, or some kind of non-verbal gestures. So this should be proper. If you're trying to teach them that the earth is, like this, so you are showing them the shape of the earth, whether it is round, whether it is like a ball, what you are going to show them. So your gestures is very important while teaching in the class. And as a teacher, you know that your hands and your expressions and your gestures will go along. So whenever you talk something, whenever you speak something, it will go along. You will never know that your non-verbal gestures will be noticed by the students. So you should take care of that. So your hands, head, and body movements can help a teacher communicate effectively. So the teachers need to develop these skills in themselves so that they can attract and hold the attention of the students throughout the teaching. And for this, they have to develop such attention drawing behavior in themselves also. Now the next component is the change in speech pattern. So a teacher is a good storyteller also. So your voice, your way of speaking, your way of expressing, your way of giving instructions is also very important. And for this, now we talk about the voice modulation. How you take your voice up and low, and how you explain anything to the students. If we are talking about the subject history, so when you are narrating any event or any kind of the event which has happened earlier. So if you're talking about the great personalities, if you're talking about Swami Vivekananda, you need to bring expressions in your voice also. So you cannot just speak in a monotonous way to the students. Even you have heard the news readers in news bring emotions in their, while narrating the news. So you can also feel that. So in this way, if you are trying to bring changes in your speech pattern, the students will be able to feel that, and the students will be able to, be attentive in the class, listening to you. What is going to happen next? What is the teacher is going to tell next? So the variation in volume or accent of voice avoids boredom. And we will never want our students to sleep in the class or just die of boredom in the class. So for this, we need to bring variation in the volume, and voice modulation should be worked upon by a teacher. This is very important, and this will come to their senses only within their habit when they try to, when they are confident what they are doing. They have to be well versed with the content which they are going to deliver in the class. They have to, prepared with their plan in the class. So teacher must know when to change his style of speech while communicating with the students in the class, such as speaking softly, then increase his voice volume to stress out important thing. So this is how, like, you are going you must be witnessing the changes in the speech pattern, as I have I am speaking softly sometimes, and sometimes I have to stress on something, so I have to raise my volume. So this is called bringing changes in the speech pattern, which a teacher needs to do. So this is the reason why the skill of stimulus variation is very important to be learned by the teacher trainees. Now, the next component of stimulus variation is focusing. So while you are explaining something to the students, they are only listening what you are trying to tell them. They are, trying to understand what, grasping what you are telling them. But sometimes they can, wander off in another world, or they don't know that what important you are going to want to tell. So you as a teacher only know that what important things should be grasped by the students of your class. So you need to focus on the important points. And how you will do it? You need to focus pupils' attention on a particular word, idea, any rule, any generalization. Like in history, we can, we want to focus pupils' attention on the reasons of the defeat of certain ruler. So how you will do that? So you need to learn that. So what you will do? The teacher draws the attention of the pupils to the particular point in the lesson, either by using verbal or gestural focusing. So you can verbally do that by speaking, or by making use of gesturals. Like in verbal focusing, the teacher makes statements like, look here, listen to me carefully now, students. Note this down carefully in your notebooks, please. So this is how you are focusing that this is very important. And these phrases must be used by the teacher trainees so that they can use in their, real classroom teachings. And this is done by your teachers also. And while making use of gestural focusing, you need to point towards some objects with fingers, or you can just underline the important words on the blackboard. Okay, you can draw a diagram. And in history, if we talk about the timelines or the different kinds of time charts, if you are preparing, so for that you need to focus your students' attention on that this is not, you are drawing only to pass your time or pass their time. This is important to be noted down by the students. So you should keep on changing your statements in the class. So students will be engaged with you, throughout the class. So this will be ensured by you. Then the next component is pausing. Now you must be wondering how pausing is important in the class. So sometimes few students are not paying attention, and a teacher pauses for a few seconds. Those students will suddenly, see the, change in the classroom why the teacher is not talking. They will automatically, without any scolding, they will automatically pay attention to the class, that the teacher is pausing, stop talking. So something important is to be done. So pausing is means stop talking by the teacher for the moment. And while narrating the story, as we know that storytelling teaching method is very much important in history, or we can say if narration of a dramatization, dramas or role plays, everything which you are doing in the class, in between that, you can pause for some time. Then next is the change in interaction pattern. So you need to bring changes in your interaction pattern. So sometimes the teacher is addressing the whole class. the teacher is interacting with the whole class. Sometimes the teacher is interacting with the pupil, particular pupil, if he or she has asked the question or the pupil has asked the question. Or you can ask your students to interact among themselves while giving them certain any kind of activity, any collaboration or cooperation activity. So this is how the interaction patterns, these are the three interaction patterns which goes on in the class, and this should be continuously changed by you. So you should take care of that. Then the next component is change in oral or visual sequences. So this automatically goes on in the class while teacher is teaching in the class. That sometimes they engages the different sense organs of the students. Sometimes they want them to hear, sometimes they want only them to see, sometimes they want them to touch anything. Then you can bring changes in the focus by actively stimulating their sense organs. So students' participation is also very much important, because physical participation is very important for a student. You also want your student to be physically present in the class. Mentally they can be anywhere, but you want your students to mentally and physically both participating, engaged in the class. So research has also suggested that we remember 20% of what we hear only, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 90% of what we see, hear, and do. So this is how we know that if we see, hear, and do the certain activity, we will retain this knowledge 90%. Remember this knowledge for 90%. So physically, we can ask our students to come and write down on the blackboard, write the correct answer on the blackboard. Or if we are using any kind of teaching aid in the class, so there we can ask them to come and point out, or make use of certain experiment, or write down something on the blackboard. So this is how we can physically make our students participate in the class. Then there is verbal pupil pattern, in which you are going to certain students and talking to them one-on-one. So this can be done. So this is how you cannot just stand on a point and just finish your class. You have to make your students participate with you, and this depends on you how you do it. So pupils, tend to prefer those lessons in which they get opportunity for physical participation. It holds their interest and attention in the task in which they are engaged, like handling of apparatus, dramatization, or you are writing on the blackboard, or the student is writing on the blackboard. So this is how we ensure students' participation in our class. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn, as said by Benjamin Franklin. So this is very much true, because only by telling, the student can forget. Only by teaching, they can remember. But if you involve them, they will always remember that thing. So physical participation is very much important by the student in the class. Now, what kind of effect stimulus variation skills bring to teaching learning process? So if the stimulus variation is used correctly, the positive effects that can be seen are: the teaching and learning process will become fun and interesting, which you want. Students will become enthusiastic and they will give their full attention to the teacher. Students will get opportunities to use variety of senses to learn something. Positive learning environment can be created by using stimulus variation. When all students give their fully attention to the teacher, discipline problem can be controlled by the teacher. So this is one of the problems of a teacher in a class, that the class is not disciplined. Lot of activities take place which creates indiscipline. So if students are involved fully with you, then they will not create any kind of indiscipline in the class. So student curiosity becomes aroused, and this will motivate them to take part actively in the teaching and learning process. Now, there are certain guidelines which, as a teacher, you need to take care of in the class while using stimulus variation. Just because you have to make use of skills in the class, that doesn't mean that we are going to, reach to the extreme point of using these skills. So, what kind of guidelines which we need to follow? Like, bring variation in teaching, but it should not be at the cost of effective teaching. Just by bringing changes in the stimuli, you are just wasting time in the class. So effective teaching is very much important. A teacher must be clear why and how they are using different stimuli in the class, why they are bringing variety in the stimuli. A teacher should modify his use of variations in stimuli in the light of feedback he obtains from his pupils. So this is very much important, that on the basis of feedback, they can bring changes in the class. They can, bring new variety of stimuli in the class. Now we will take a look at the micro lesson plan, which is generally prepared like this in the subject history, like on Rani Lakshmi Bai. This lesson plan has been prepared, and the teacher is trying to bring changes, verbal focusing, that try to be attentive. So this is how the stimulus variation skill lesson plan is prepared, in which there is one part of teacher's activity, what the teacher is going to do. Then there is pupil activity, what kind of activity pupil will do. And then you have to write what kind of component of the stimulus variation skills will be used by the teacher. So this is how it is very much clear to the supervisor that what you are doing in your class, what is the planning, what is your planning. So all kind of components must be used by the teacher trainee here, whether it is the change in speech pattern, pausing, use of gestures, oral visual switching, what they are going to do in the class. So if there is any kind of speech pattern changing, or focusing has to be changed, like listen to me, look at the blackboard. And this is how observation schedule is prepared depending on the variety of institutions which they prefer. So this is how the supervisor will rate that what kind of components have been used by the teacher trainee while teaching in the class, while using this kind of skill. So, as Francesco Petrarch has said, sameness is the mother of disgust, variety is the cure. So if we do things again and again in the same manner, it will definitely lead to boredom. And if we try to bring variety in doing our things, those same things, but in a different manner, so that will bring happiness in your classroom. So teachers can just change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Now you can go through various kind of references. You can take help of various textbooks, which definitely mentions the various, the teaching skills which should be used by the teacher trainees in the real classroom teaching. You can have a look at YouTube. Various recordings have been presented. You can take care, make use of this recording. So by this, you can, find out that what changes you can bring in the classroom for bringing variety, so you can grab your attention of your students. Now we will go through the evaluation questions, and the first question is, role of teacher has shifted to, options are arranger, facilitator, anchor, or tutor. So how the today's 21st century teacher has changed? And the answer is, he has become now the facilitator. He is not only the information giver, now the teacher is a facilitator who facilitates knowledge every time, whenever is required by the student. Then the next question is, change in speech pattern is a component of. The options are explaining skill, introducing skill, skill of stimulus variation, or skill of questioning. So obviously we have gone through the skill of stimulus variation. The correct answer is skill of stimulus variation, in which you need to bring voice modulation change in the speech patterns while teaching. Then the next question is, stop talking by a teacher for a moment is, options are disturbance, communication, pausing, or devoicing. So the correct answer is pausing. So this is one of the factor which can be used while you need to grab the attention of your students. Next question is, pupils tend to prefer those lessons in which they get opportunity for. This we have recently discussed, and the options are laughter, physical participation, homework, or classwork. So the correct answer is physical participation. So this will affects students and they take more interest in the class. The next question is, dash is a method and technique in order to attract students' attention and interest towards teaching and learning process. Options are explanation, closer, stimulus variation, or illustration. So the correct answer is stimulus variation, which is a method which attracts students' attention and interest. Next question is, teacher dash from one place to another must be with some purpose. The options are movement, story, writing, or closing. So what should be done with some purpose? That is the teacher's movement. So whenever a teacher moves in a class, that should be done for a purpose, and unnecessary movement in the class should be avoided by the teacher. Question number 7 is, hands, head, and body movements can help a teacher communicate effectively. This is known as using of. Options are speech pattern, interaction, gestures, or eye contact. And the correct answer is gestures. So by making use of hand, head, or you can make use of your non-verbal gestures. Through this, you can communicate effectively. Next question is, teachers' behavior to gain attention must be. Options are enthusiastic, energetic, stimulating, expressive, or all of the above. So correct answer is all of the above, because no student will like their teachers to be dull while teaching, or teachers to talk in a slow voice, or talk in a confused manner, not prepared in the class. So your behavior need to be enthusiastic. You should be energetic while delivering lesson. You should bring changes. You should be expressive while delivering any kind of lecture in the class. Next question is, which of the following is not the objective of stimulus variation? The options are: motivate the students to enhance their curiosity via various teaching and learning activities, create a conducive, positive, and fun learning condition, give opportunity to the students to experience various learning activities, or to waste students' time. So this we can clearly find out that the correct answer is to waste students' time. We do not want this objective to be the part of stimulus variation skill. The next question is, which of the following is not the interaction pattern in a class? So this we have discussed. There are various kinds of interaction pattern in the class, and majorly which of the following is not. So the options are teacher-teacher, teacher-class, pupil-pupil, or teacher-pupil. So here only one teacher is present in the class, so we cannot say that teacher-teacher interaction is good in the class, and the other three interaction patterns can be used by the students or the teachers in the class. So for the success of any lesson, it is essential to secure and sustain the attention of the pupils in the class and in the teaching learning process. So it is very difficult for an individual to attend, to do this in the class, but the teachers, with the experience, time, they can make use of it, and they can do this effectively. So with this, we come to the end of the class, and hope you will go through the video and the references and find out more interesting things of using stimulus variation skill in the class. Thank you very much, and see you in the next class.